Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And today I'm going to show you mighty 9 simple UC tricks to impress your UC buddies. So let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. So in this video, I'll be performing most of the stunts on the InMotion V9. Of course, there's an affiliate link below if you want to get it. There's a coupon code WRONGWAY on the InMotion World site as well. So if you want to get this wheel, feel free to do so. Of course, all of those tricks you can also do on other wheels, but with this one, I kind of like it a lot because it's a bit lighter, doesn't have any side pads. Lovely jubbly. So the first trick I wanted to show you is Flippity-Doodle. Wind your wheel up like a spaghetti noodle. So let me show it to you. This trick I really like because you can also evolve with it. So when you spin your wheel like that, you can either do a half spin or you can convert it to a full spin. Oh wait, let's do a full spin right now. 3, 2, 1, woo, woo! But in general, I think it's a very easy way to impress your friends. In any way, how you want to start doing it is you place your foot firmly on the EUC, you lean it a little bit against the shell, and you try first to just get a feeling to spin it. Don't lean it to the side, don't lean it to the other side, just straight up and start spinning it. First try, you can just try to spin it and catch it on the top, just to get a feel for it. So let's try that again. Hup. You can also wear some knee protectors and maybe some shin pads because you might hurt yourself in the process. Hup. Ow! That's the first sort of movement. And once you get it down, you put your wheel pretty sideways, so you have a lot of room to start it spinning. And yeet. That's the movement. I don't know, it's pretty quick, but you just essentially spin the wheel around, you lift up your foot, it keeps on spinning, and you put your foot down. So that's the quickest version, it's just half a turn. If you want to do a full turn, just spin more. Boom! And it doesn't always work out. Yeet! 3. Woo. You can also try pumping up your tire in order for the wheel to spin quicker and with less resistance. So, boom. So that's how you do it. If you catch the wheel, try to catch it with just your foot on the side and then sort of slide it down. That's the best way to make it stop spinning. Don't stop with your shin, don't stop with your knee, just with your foot, and then you keep on rolling. But half a turn should do the trick. The next trick I wanted to show you is a tiny burnout. Bonus trick, riding on 2 wheels. But yeah, I took this wheel because it has pads, and I'll show you how much easier it is to do this trick when you have pads. So in order to make the tire spin on an EUC faster than actually the ground speed that you're moving in, you need to just have a lot of power, or you need to lessen the friction of the tire, and we will do the latter one here. So what you want to do is you can find yourself a surface like this. It'll be much easier to do, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it on asphalt and concrete as well. So what you want to do is you push into the EUC a little bit first, so you sort of preload the suspension, and on the way up, when the friction between the tire and the ground will be lower, you put pressure onto your toes and try to grab the EUC with your calves a little bit and try to lean it forward in a quick, swift and jerky motion. So let's do that in motion here. See what I did there? I am on the EUC, I preload and then I try to make the burnout. But again, not that easy to do if I don't have any side pads and I don't have any friction on the top of the EUC. So let's do that again. Boom. This was the tiniest burnout, but let me show you how you do it with pads. So here on my friend's Kingsong 16X, huge thanks to Taju Ratlus for helping me record this video, you can put pressure onto the pads. So you do the exact same motion, but you lean into the pads. So then it'll be a lot easier to, whoa, do a burnout. So it's a tiny one. It's not the same as on an electric motorcycle or any other device, but hey, if your friends see how much power your wheel has, they'll be impressed. And yes, we cleaned up, we're not maniacs. And the next trick I wanted to show you are 1 Legged Shenanigans. Now, you might not, like at the beginning, do this or do this, but I will tell you how to ride on one leg, which is pretty impressive. So Let me show that to you. So probably you already know how to stand one foot on the unicycle and one foot on the ground. And then the next step, what you want to do is try to lean against the shell of the wheel and put pressure into your foot, which is on the wheel. Like it could be your left foot, I know it could be your right foot as well. Like some riders are left-footed, some right-footed. Anyway, the practice or the result you want to achieve is to really feel that you start balancing on just one leg. Your upper body will be leaning like this a little bit. Like now I'm exaggerating, but this is essentially the movement. You want to try to get your upper body a bit over the left side of the EUC. And then you got to start riding. So it will hurt a little bit in the beginning to put so much pressure onto the EUC. You will try to make some hops at first and really try to have your leg dig into the electric unicycle. But please note, don't try to ride on one leg and have your wheel like that, because instantly you will fall this way. Try to have it leaning inside like this way. I know, leaning towards the leg that is not on the wheel. All right, so try to do your steps. Have one of your arms or even both arms leaning this way. So you have more weight on this side than on this one. Again, the wheel leaning towards me. And once you can do the steps even longer, at some point you'll be able to ride on one leg. And then the more comfortable you get with this motion, the more stuff you'll be able to do, whoa, on one leg. The next trick I wanted to show you is the stop and slide. So a requirement for this trick is one-legged riding, but the motion is a little bit different than just, when you ride on one leg. You'll try to not be straightforward when you start sliding with your leg, but you try to be a bit sideways, like this. So you drag your foot behind, as so. And therefore, when you will be stopping, it is very possible that you will turn inward while dragging your foot behind you. So you try to have most of your weight on the EUC, not on the foot, because then you might just lose balance, and then lightly drag your foot behind. So let's just show that really quickly once again. So once again, a little bit of speed, leg is off, and you stop. The next trick I wanted to show you is the Fling Bling Ballerina. And I really get a ton of question about this one, so here it is. All right, so there's a couple of steps that involve the spinny motion. So let's start with the first spinny motion. Same thing as riding on one leg, but you keep one of your feet on the ground. So try spinning, and you can put a fair amount of pressure on the leg that is on the floor. You will hear how the shoe sole sort of scratches on the concrete. And then the less pressure you will have on your foot, the more of the motion will be just on the wheel. So you can try slowly lifting the foot up, and try to not get too dizzy on the way. And then, okay, I can lift it up. And the spinny motion is a very, very small circle, so you will get dizzy. And just like a real life ballerina, how far your arms and limbs are out will determine how fast you're spinning. So if you have your arms far out and then you push them inwards, you start spinning really quickly, as you can see. So you can try to first just do it on one leg and try pulling your arms and legs inside. And then once you have that down, you can try spinning with the foot on the ground and then put your foot on the wheel. And then you'll have a really spinny boost. Woo! And then reach your arms out or your foot to stop the spinny motion, so you don't become a Beyblade and fly into space. Now also a pro tip, if you're a bit taller or if you have trouble having the balance while doing the spinny tricks, try to get down on your knees a little bit more. Just don't try to be just straight and like that. Just bend your knees and then spin around. The next trick is a little bit more advanced, but I think you'll be able to get it. It's the pendulum. Ooh. So the first step to the pendulum is finding yourself a railing or a wall, and then you can start to get a feeling on how the wheel behaves when you put your weight on your toes, so you go forward, or on your heels, you go backward. Now, I see a lot of people just tensing up and not knowing what to do, and they're really afraid of going backwards. So they try to go backwards, but they're still on their toes, and it doesn't work. So it's important to get the motion right, that you're actually sort of falling backwards a bit on your heels, and maybe you just tense up a little bit in your hips, I guess, if your hips don't lie. But if your hips do lie, then don't listen to them. Once you start getting comfortable with that, you can try getting your hand off a little bit, and you really don't have to be all that strong with, you know, the motion. You don't have to just yank it and force your way into the pendulum. Just try to feel it out, and have also your other hand on the outside so you're balanced, because if you keep pushing against the wall and your hand is here, you have the balance to the right and not on the wheel. So once you get that rolling, you start the pendulum by riding forwards, and then you brake, keep braking, keep braking, keep braking. You go backwards, you go forwards, and this is it. You will need to adjust yourself a lot. You can try, you know, turning to the side a bit, move your hips. It will be not clean in the beginning. It won't be just like, you know, this when you start off. Try to make it dirty, be raunchy with it, and yeah, get your pendulums down, because they're freaking awesome. The next trick I wanted to show you is the tiniest of bonks. We define bonks in different ways. The bonk is also when you just try to bonk against a curb and jump over it. That's not the bonk we're discussing today. The bonk we will be showing today is the bonk of hitting a wall with your tire and boom, riding backwards right away. It's very similar to the pendulum. You just ride into a wall, and just keep in mind that your tire is actually in front of the plastic shell. You don't want to damage your EUC. And then lean back once you're close to the wall and boop, try riding backwards. I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. And it's especially cool if you take your buddy's EUC, you do the greeting with him or with her. So you just ride forwards and bonk. Okay, the emotion was overwhelmed here. I guess it finds the King song really attractive, but let's get to the next one. Now, everyone is familiar with the U-turn, but for EUCs, this is not enough. We have the dot turn. So let me show you how to do it. You don't turn around as a U or an O. I mean, that's not turning around, it's a circle. But you turn around on the spot. Check this out. This trick is quite simple, but it requires quite a bit of coordination, and most of the movement will go from your hips and your arms. So what you want to do there is you start riding forwards, and you want to brake, and you go barely to a stop, and then whoop, you turn around. So it's really like a circular motion, first with your upper body, and then your legs follow. So once again, whoop, the dot turn.com. And once you have all of those tricks down, you can get a little bit more advanced and fancy with it and connect them to, for example, make a 180. So then you'll do a dot turn and start riding backwards. May I present to you, you ride forwards and then yeet and ride backwards. And then you can spin around again. I mean, to EUCs, there is infinite possibilities. You can even just like dance and spin around and have tons of fun. Oh yeah, man. Now the last trick I wanted to show you, and perhaps the most impressive one, is none other than the Weiner warp speed. Or Vajayjay warp speed, depending on what's applicable. Now the Weiner warp speed is really impressive, and the acceleration will depend on the weight of your balls. With that said, there is some stuff that you can do in order to make it actually safe, because Weiner warp speed is not safe at all, and it will introduce wobbles to your acceleration. So it's really, really tempting to go on your heels when you do Weiner warp speed, but no, you actually have to have your weight on your whole foot and perhaps even on your toes in order to avoid wobbles. Keep in mind to present your balls a little bit more, or your Vajayjay. You have to have your hands in the back, and then man, it goes down hard when you accelerate like that. So guys, I hope that by the end of this video, you found your favorite. Let me know which trick is your favorite in this video. And if you learn those tricks, hell, if you learn at least one of them, I'm sure that your EUC buddies and even random pedestrians will be very impressed with your EUC skills. So if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the prochain video. Au revoir!